Open heart, open mind. Happy Sunday to all of you. Namaste to my Dharma friends. I'm Sarah Wong. Welcome to the Sattva Project. I'm the co-founder of the Sattva Project.
Myself Samiksha Mishram, and I am from the Sattva Youth, bringing Dharma to you and bridging Dharma with youth. Sattva Youth is a Buddhist youth program initiated by the Sattva Project.
First of all, before we begin our program today, on behalf of the Sattva Project, I would like to express our gratitude and thankfulness to our media partner and media sponsor, StreamYard sponsor, Durian ASEAN and Durian FN. And also not to forget a very important man behind the scene, our broadcast director, Brother Chong. So, Brother Chong would like to say hi to our beloved audience.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session of meditation this evening. And for those of you who are watching, please do like and share so that more can benefit. And as well as those watching on YouTube, please do like, subscribe, and share too. And now back to all of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Brother Chong. So let's begin our program tonight. Tonight there will be a guided meditation guided by Myong An Sunim, and the title will be Metta and Mindfulness.
Before we start with our session, let me introduce to you Myong An Sunim. Myong An Sunim is a Zen monk from Kwan Om School of Zen. He is one of the advisors of the Sattva Project. Myong An Sunim, usually called Sunim, was born to a Chinese family in Malaysia in 1959. He received his education in the UK, culminating with an MBA, and worked in finance. Sunim met his teacher, Zen master Seung San, in 1992. He became a monk in 1997 and spent the subsequent 16 years in Korea on intensive Zen retreats. He received Inca, the authority to lead retreats and teach Khongans, in 2015. Sunim has over 30 years of meditation experience and teaches in Penang and internationally. His teaching approach combines the wisdom of the ancient teachers with the science of meditation to arrive at ways of practice that are well suited to our contemporary lifestyle. We all welcome Myong An Sunim to this session tonight. It's a pleasure to have you, Sunim, once again.
Yeah. Thank you, Shamisha.
Thanks,
Thank you
Nick.
for the very kind introduction. Hi, Sher. And welcome all of you to tonight's Metta and Mindfulness practice. So in Pali, Metta means positive energy and kindness towards others. So it's also, Metta meditation is also known as loving kindness meditation for those reasons. So the goal of it is to cultivate kindness and compassion for all beings, starting with yourself and ending with all beings. So actually, very commonly, you will often encounter it as loving kindness practice, especially if you're in the West. And it is a very simple practice that anyone can do. And it's a very simple one to start with, because all it involves is the simple repetition of 4 general loving kindness phrases. So tonight we'll Uh, I'll choose four, which are very general and mostly applicable to the majority of situations in our lives. Now, if you find that there are other phrases you prefer which are more relevant to your situation, feel free to use them. You know, it's not a hard rule that you must use the ones that we use tonight. So find whichever actually suits you best and then practice with that, you know. So loving kindness is about a quality of great connection with ourselves and others. So it's very helpful to be comfortable. So let's begin by closing our eyes and finding a comfortable, relaxed, but alert position for ourselves. And we let the power of the intention of wishing others well lead the way. This is the practice of loving kindness, the intention of wishing others well. So allow yourself to relax inside, breathe naturally, and allow your breath to settle into its own rhythm, not trying to change it in any way. We start by offering the wishes of loving kindness towards ourselves. And as you recite these phrases silently, try to bring your full awareness behind each phrase as you say it. So, this loving kindness practice is actually a different way of paying attention. Instead of the usual awareness of the breath, it's awareness of each phrase as we say it. And we express our wishes of loving kindness towards ourselves and others in a spirit of blessing, in a spirit of offering. So let's begin by directing loving kindness towards ourselves, repeating these phrases silently at your own pace. May I be safe, be happy, be healthy. May I live peacefully. Feelings may come and go, thoughts may come and go. When you notice that you've been distracted, allow your thoughts and feelings to rest and come back to the beginning of each phrase again. May I be safe, be happy, be healthy. May I live peacefully. Now see if you can think of someone who has helped you, someone that you can be grateful towards for the help. Perhaps they helped you even though you didn't ask them for it. And this is an opportunity for us to express our gratitude in this practice. See if you can think of someone like that, a benefactor, someone who helped you. Bring to mind how they look like. Bring their presence to this practice. Bring their presence here. And offer them these blessings. May you be safe, be happy, be healthy. May you live peacefully. Next, bring to mind a good friend, the first good friend that you can think of. Someone who you can turn to stand by you when you are in difficulties, and someone who you can share your joys and happiness with, someone you're happy to see. See if you can imagine what they look like. Say their names silently, bring them to mind, and offer them these words of loving kindness. May you be safe, be happy, be healthy. May you live peacefully. If you find your mind wandering off, or you become distracted by your thoughts, or feelings or emotions, don't worry. It's not a problem. It's totally normal. So when you realize that you've been distracted, try to let your thoughts, feelings rest and start again at the beginning, gently bringing yourself back to reciting the phrases. May you be safe, be happy, be healthy. May you live peacefully. Now bring to mind a neutral person. A neutral person is someone who you may not know very well, and you do not have strong feelings or opinions about either way, and you probably don't see them that regularly. They may be your postman, the person who empties your trash, the person who serves you coffee or your breakfast at a coffee shop or cafe, or the checkout person at the supermarket. So see if you can think of someone like that, a neutral person, bring them to mind. And with the same sense of generosity and blessing, offer them these words. May you be safe, be happy, be healthy. May you live peacefully. And remembering to bring our full awareness behind each phrase as we say it. And finally, we offer loving kindness to all beings who you're aware of, and also those who you're not aware of, all beings living in the air, water, land, all beings in the 10 directions. May all beings be safe, be happy, be healthy. May all beings live peacefully. May all beings be safe, be happy, be healthy. May all beings live peacefully. Through a recognition of our common humanity, this practice of loving kindness deepens our connection and compassion to others and all beings. And we realize that no matter how alone we sometimes feel, we are truly a part of a greater whole, and no burden is especially unique to us. So, as we experience a greater sense of connection, we can also access a deeper sense of belonging, caring, and peace. So, try, if you can, to bring a bit of loving kindness practice into your daily lives, even it's for a few minutes of just reciting these simple phrases, and see how that changes things for you. When you're ready, open your eyes and bring your attention back to the room again. And thank you for your practice. Okay. So, um, now I'd like to talk a little bit about metta and meditation and mindfulness. And then after that, we'll have little time for any questions that you may have about this subject, or in fact, anything at all. Your practice, your problems, anything. So, loving kindness practice or metta meditation is actually a very powerful practice, even though it seems to be quite simple, that we only recite 4 phrases and keep reciting them. But there's a lot of scientific evidence to show how helpful it can be. Even if you do a simple Google search on the scientific benefits of loving kindness practice, you will see that there are a host of benefits based on research. And that's what I like about a lot of these practices, that there is some solid research behind them. And as the Dalai Lama said, he's the one that actually encouraged the academics in the West to do this kind of very very, how do you say, very controlled scientific research into these uh, practices of meditation. And he said that, if your science supports uh, the meditation practices, then good. If science doesn't support it, then maybe we shouldn't do these practices anymore. I mean, that's not his exact words, but that's effectively what he meant. So, for example, some of the scientific scientifically researched benefits of loving kindness practice include these. And I just want to give you a sense of what is actually possible if you do this practice consistently and regularly. One of the most important things is that it decreases your negative emotions and it increases your positive emotions for free. And who doesn't want that? Right? I mean, a lot of the time, what do we do if we want to kind of feel a little happy? You go and have a drink. Or some people get into recreational drugs. But that isn't real uh, decreasing of your negative emotions and increasing your positive ones. It's just based on some chemical. And that chemical will wear off. And eventually, your negative emotions will come back. So, if you practice loving kindness meditation, it can help a lot in this, and it doesn't have any negative side effects. So, 7-week study showed that it increases positive feelings of love, joy, cheerfulness, appreciation, etc. And in a 2-month study, participants reported better life satisfaction. And so that is already a very good reason to try out loving kindness meditation. The other thing that it really does help a lot with is that it quietens your inner critic. The one that always keeps telling you, you're not good enough. They're a lot smarter than you. Or you're not good looking enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not whatever enough. That's your inner critic always talking. You're not rich enough. You're not successful enough. You're not smart enough. Nobody is saying anything like that to you. It's just you telling yourself. So this inner critic can be very detrimental to our self-esteem because if we have this very strong inner critic voice, can you imagine somebody, I mean physically somebody who's always standing behind you and telling you in your ear over your shoulder, yeah, you're not very good at this. You're not good enough. You shouldn't even be here. You don't deserve this job. You don't deserve this place in school. After a while, you start to believe this, even though it may not be true. So, loving kindness practice also helps to quieten this voice down. And then that's part of decreasing the negative emotions. And then when we offer these words of loving kindness, may you be safe, be happy, be healthy, may you live peacefully, it strengthens your empathy and compassion because we're offering these good things to other people. And not just only for ourselves, but we wish them for others as well. So as you practice that, you begin to develop a sense of connection with others. And you start to see them not as other, not as separate, but actually as part of our common humanity, that we are all the same, basically. We're all in the same boat. We all have the same sort of challenges in our life, to find a job that pays enough, that pays the rent, to raise our kids in a relatively safe environment, make sure they have enough to eat, enough to clothe themselves, a decent education. Everybody faces these challenges. It's not just you. So, recognition of our common humanity, that we all are in the same boat and we all want to be happier. We all want to have a more joyful, a more stable life. So, that's how it strengthens our empathy and increases our compassion for others. And in doing so, when we recognize our common humanity, it enhances our connectedness with others as well as with this natural world. We start to see that we actually depend on each other, and we're beginning to realize that very, very clearly now. You know, if we hurt the world, we are actually hurting ourselves. Like just I think today or yesterday, Pope Francis, the leader of the Catholic Church, said, "This is nature warning us, telling us that it is sick, telling us that we are hurting nature. That's why all these heat waves, forest fires, floods in China are happening. These extreme uh, weather events hardly ever happened before in the past, and now they're very common. And it's not just going to be this year; it's going to be very regular occurrence for us now because we're not learning how to connect with nature, connect with each other. We're just harming our environment. Okay. Then the other things that uh, practicing loving kindness does, it helps to reduce our physical, uh, our physical kind of uh, discomfort, like some pain or tension. It helps to do that. So some studies showed that it can help to reduce even migraines. So that is very, very helpful. Just a simple practice of just sitting and paying attention to these phrases as you recite them gives you all these benefits already. And the last thing that I would like to share with you is that for those of you who are getting older, it actually slows your aging process. So in our body, our chromosomes uh, can actually can be a marker of how we age. These telomeres are a small section of our chromosomes, and it tells us how fast or how slow we're aging. So these telomeres naturally get shorter because they get damaged throughout our life. So they will get shorter and shorter and shorter. So that is a very clear marker of how fast we're getting old. So the longer the telomere is, the younger we are biologically. That means our biological age, not your body age, but your biological age is younger. The shorter it is, doesn't matter even you're 30 years old, your biological age will be older. So when the researchers did their studies and their experiments, they found that women who practice loving kindness meditation was, excuse me, were more significantly likely to have longer telomeres, which means they don't age as fast. So if you like to keep your youth a bit longer, and we have to get old eventually anyway. There's no getting away from that. But you can have a say in how fast you grow old, you know. So if you practice loving kindness meditation, you can start to slow the process and enjoy your body's uh, abilities a bit longer. Okay, so loving kindness practice is very helpful, not difficult to do, and has so many benefits. There's a lot more. Actually, I just picked a few. So part of loving kindness is to develop our sense of uh, common humanity with each other, sense of kindness actually to others, treating other people in the same way that we would treat ourselves. And if we start to do that, you know, this kind of thing actually will ripple out like throwing a pebble into a pond. So I experienced this many years ago when I was a relatively young monk, and I was uh, on my way back to my hometown after a retreat in Korea. And since I hadn't been back for quite a while, I had, my luggage was packed with gifts from Korea. So I landed in KL, and then uh, I went. I caught a bus to the train station, KL Central, to catch a train back to my hometown. So I had one big bag, a big rucksack, and another uh, cabin trolley bag. So 3 pieces of luggage. Very kind of bulky, a little heavy, a bit bulky, and just hard to get around. So when I got to KL Central, the train station, I had to catch the train, which you have to go right down 2 or 3 floors down to the platform. And it turned out that the escalators were out of order that day, so I had to walk. And it was a bit clumsy carrying these bags, yeah, and also wearing my monk's robe. You know that you had to wear. I was wearing basically 3 layers, and you can imagine in Malaysian heat, 3 layers of clothing. I was sweating. It was hot, uncomfortable, and wasn't really very happy having to walk and carry this luggage down. So as I walked down, actually a, a group of 3 or 4 young women were walking up. It was around lunchtime, actually, and they kind of looked at me, probably an unusual sight in KL Central, Korean-looking monk, shaved head, and they kind of giggled and they said, "Oh, uncle, do you want some help?" So I didn't think I was that old, but anyway, I was a little too kind of proud to accept their help. So I said, no, it's okay. I can manage. Then they said, Are you sure? Are you sure? Because they saw that I was struggling a bit. And I said, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. No problem. I can do it. So then they went off, talking and laughing to themselves. And I continued to kind of struggle down, these flights of stairs. And I was almost on my last flight. And I, hot and sweaty and a bit tired and a bit annoyed. I put my luggage down just to take a break before going down again. And as I stood there, behind me I saw a sort of a shadow behind me. And as I turned around, this hand just went and grabbed my biggest bag. Okay. And I was like too surprised to even say anything. Then I looked up and I saw it was an old man, much older than me, maybe in his late 60s or 70s, but very thin, very thin. And he was a Malay Muslim man, and he was wearing a white cap, which meant I think he had done the Hajj to Mecca. So anyway, he just grabbed my bag, and without saying anything at all, without saying anything, nothing, he didn't say anything. He just grabbed my bag and lifted it up and with both hands carried it down the stairs to the bottom and just put it there, waiting for me to get down. So I was like, whoa, that's amazing. Nobody does that. Who does that? I wouldn't even do that. But this 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 Muslim man, Malay man, really showed me what it is to do something kind for somebody and not even be asked about it. And I wasn't of the same faith as him, but it didn't matter, because he saw somebody having some difficulties, and then his natural response was just to help with a bit of kindness. So I was really very sort of kind of overwhelmed actually with the gratefulness. I was like really surprised, but then I felt, wow, this man is very kind. And then when I got down, I just said thank you, and he just nodded, smiled, turned and went away. Didn't ask for money, didn't want anything, just helped. That's all. So that really struck me, and it's stayed with me for all these years, like almost 20 years or so. This simple act of kindness. That's all it is. And it actually didn't take him a lot of time, less than a minute or so, just to carry it down. And we can do that. We can do these simple acts of kindness. And what really is very, very interesting about this is that when you received an act of kindness, you're more likely to perform an act of kindness later on. Okay? It's like this ripple effect. And not only that, those people who witness a kind act are also more likely to perform an act of kindness later. So it's like throwing a kindness ripple into the pond, a kindness pebble into the pond, and it just ripples out. So can you imagine if everyone starts doing one act of kindness, a simple act of kindness a day? You'd have all these ripples going out. So it is something that we can do. And kindness is a practice. Okay. And again, the scientific benefits of kindness are very well researched. Mayo Clinic in the United States, which is one of the best medical centers that you can go to if you're sick, on their website, they say this about kindness. Kindness has been shown to increase self-esteem, empathy, and compassion, and improves your mood. It can decrease blood pressure and cortisol, which is a stress hormone, which directly impacts your stress levels. That means if you're a very stressed person, do something kind, you'll feel less stress. And people who give off themselves in a balanced way also tend to be healthier and live longer. Healthier and live longer. So it's all beneficial. So even the Dalai Lama, who is a spiritual leader and considered a prime example of a very kind and compassionate human, says this: my religion is very simple. My religion is kindness. And you'd expect him to say, my religion is Buddhism or my religion is Tibetan Buddhism. But no, my religion is kindness. That is actually a human religion, a oneness of humanity. And he also said this: be kind whenever possible. It is always possible. So kindness is always something you can do, but you have to choose it. Okay? Kindness is not just a feeling, it's an activity. So actually doing the act of kindness is 1,000, a million times more powerful than just thinking about being kind. Because thinking about being kind doesn't do anything. It's just a thought, just like any other thought. So you don't have to be the Dalai Lama to practice kindness, and anybody can do it. Simple acts of kindness like giving somebody a thoughtful gift, which doesn't have to be expensive. Hold the door open for someone. Tell your parents how much you love and appreciate them. This one, little hard for Asian families. We don't usually express our emotions very easily, but try it. You might be surprised at the response. Call a family or friend and just chat with them. Ask them how they are. Buy somebody a cup of coffee without them asking you. Let somebody cut in front of you in traffic. And this one, I think is very important for all of us. Try not to correct someone, especially in public, even though you know that they're wrong. Cook or buy some food for someone. Smile at someone at random. Or hug your friends or your family to show that you care for them. So many, many simple things you can do, many simple acts of kindness you can do in your everyday life. And that helps us and helps everyone. Just remember, every time you do an act of kindness, you're throwing a pebble into the kindness pond, and it will ripple out. It will encourage other people to be kind. So you're kind of like a kindness activist or kindness bodhisattva. Okay, so I guess we don't have a lot of time left, and perhaps you may have some questions. So let's leave the last 10 minutes or so for questions. And thank you for staying with us. Okay, do we have any questions?
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Sunim, for your very inspiring and meaningful talk. And hopefully, after listening to your talk, our health and well-being will be enhanced. Yeah, everybody's
Well, hope
lifespan
so.
and happiness hormone will be increased and induced. Yeah, and
Okay.
may everybody be a kindness bodhisattva and activist after this. Yeah,
Yep. Let's hope it works that way.
yeah. Is there any questions, Brother Sean? Oh, first questions by Ellen. But why? How come my face is showing that? Nowadays, people are talking about some universal values such as forgiveness, gratitude, giving without expectation, etc. So, what is the connection between this quality with metta and mindfulness? Sulim, yeah.
Talking about the universal values.
Mm,
Yeah, these are all very important things to do. I nowadays the Dalai Lama is probably my favorite teacher of uh, secular and spiritual values because he says a lot of things which we actually do need to practice in our life. And he said one important thing, that empathy and compassion are not luxuries, they are essential for our human survival. Okay, empathy and compassion are not luxuries. We can't just like, I'll do it when I like it and I won't if I don't. It's not a luxury. You need these qualities for our humanity, our society to continue. So this is a universal value, just as forgiveness is, just as gratitude is, and also giving without expectation. It doesn't really matter what the actual connection with metta and meditation. You know, a meditation is already loving kindness. So loving kindness includes forgiveness, gratitude, and generosity. All these are kind of positive attributes. We call some psychologists call it uh, positive psychology. You know, doing positive actions. And I think just if you want to make it easier for yourself, just practice being kind. You know, it really isn't that difficult, you know. And a lot of us don't, even when we can, because we're held back by like, ooh, will I look like I'm being weak if I'm not, if I am kind, you know? If I help that person, will I seem weak and people will take advantage of me? So what, you know? You're not doing it to uh, for their benefit. You're doing it for yours and the person that you're being kind to. So the simplest thing you can do is just practice kindness. And kindness, like I said, is not some kind of feeling or some kind of uh, thinking. It is an activity, something that we actually have to do, either in our actions or in our speech. You know, kind speech very important, kind actions also very important. And if we understand the law of cause and effect, if you're kind to others, it will come back to you, maybe hundredfold, tenfold, hundredfold, if you continue to be kind to others. If you want others to be kind to you, you better start being kind to others, because that's how the world works. You know, if people start treating you badly, it's not their fault, because you started it somewhere along the line. You know, you started this karma, cause and effect. So cause and effect is very important. If you understand cause and effect, we would, and really kind of how do you say, bring it into your life, you would practice being kind to people, you know, because if you're kind to others, it will come back to you. Okay. So yeah. So I say maybe that's the link between all that stuff and the metta and mindfulness.
Mm.
Just be
And
kind.
Sunim, just a short question. Somebody, they say that they try to be kind, but they are very serious about being kind. So do they need another element such as humor, maybe flexibility or sense of
Well,
humor?
yeah,
Tip on that.
don't take yourself so seriously, you know.
Okay.
If you
Yeah.
look at the Dalai Lama,
Yeah.
there was a recent documentary about him and Archbishop Desmond
Desmond
Tutu.
Tutu. Yeah.
They call him Arch, right?
Mhm.
And they were laughing all the time. They were making fun of each other
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
Very lovely to
don't
watch. Yeah.
be so serious. I mean, you know, it's, how do I say it? It is meant to be light hearted, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And being kind is so sometimes, okay, sometimes we act kindly because we want a certain result. We want this person, yeah, even if it's a good result, we want this person to be better, to benefit from our kindness, you know. We have
Mm-hmm.
this certain expectation. But actually, being kind doesn't have this expectation. You're just being kind. Is you're not attached to some result. Okay. Kindness in itself is the result, is what you're that's all it is. Is the way, is the path. Kindness is the path, not the destination. And whether it eventually benefits them or not is not your, or it results in the way that you want it to result in, is not for you to say. But your, what you do is just be kind, and then let the universe take care of things. Okay. That's important. So yeah, don't take yourself so seriously. Really, a lot of people take themselves far too seriously these days, and that's why we have so many problems in this world. They get offended very easily, even the slightest thing. It's like, ugh. And you know, it's like, uh, I wish they would have more of the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu's sense of humor.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks to that, Sunim.
Yeah.
Samisha, you have a second question?
Uh, yeah, Brother Chong.
Yeah, I think
So
I
what's
think Sunim has answered this, right? Can you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How about question number two? Yeah.
what's the difference between metta, loving kindness, and karuna, compassion? Is there any Buddhist practice that integrates metta and karuna? Can you give us an example?
What's the difference between metta and karuna? Well, it is very, very close, you know. And I'm not academic. So I think if you practice metta meditation, loving kindness practice, you will start to develop your compassion. You know, it's not this is metta, this is compassion, you know. It's interconnected.
Mm.
We talk about the interconnectedness of all things. Okay. So once you practice that, you will see, like when the Dalai Lama does something kind to somebody, is that compassion or is that kindness? Which one is it? Can you tell the difference, Roy?
Mm.
Probably not, because there is really very little. Okay, so people get very caught up in these words. Okay, try not to be attached to words. Like the Buddha talked about, uh, this is a transmission outside the sutras. It's beyond words and speech. So kindness, an act of kindness and an act of compassion, not very different. Okay. In fact, more people have a kind of difficulty understanding what compassion means. Compassion comes from the Greek word com, is with, and pati is, I think, suffering or something. So you suffer with, you suffer with. So it's kind of that an empathy kind of thing. But compassion is also an action. It's not a think, it's not a thought or a feeling. So compassion is acting compassionately. Kindness is also acting kindly. So I usually prefer just to say kindness because a lot of people just get, what is compassion? You know, because it's kind of more of a Buddhist thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you say kindness, everybody understands kindness. You know, if you're kind, great, I'm happy with that. You know, I'd be very happy if everybody was just kind. You know, don't worry about what compassion means. If even if half the world's population, that means maybe 3.5 billion of us, acted kindly to each other once a day, once a day, 3.5 billion acts of kindness. Can you imagine what a huge impact that could have? It would revolutionize everything. But I think hardly anybody even does one act of kindness a day. A bit sad, really. But we could, because we have many opportunities to be kind. Just a little thank you to the guy who makes your char kway teow,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Or the guy, the person who gives you your coffee at the coffee shop or the barista. Just smile, smile and say thank you. Or the checkout person at the supermarket. Now, I was at the supermarket today, just buying a few things, and I was just in line. And I was just like, being a bit capo, a busybody, and just looking at people as they do. They didn't even acknowledge the cashier. Nothing. Just like check out, pay the money, leave. Put the stuff on the counter, check out, pay, leave. It was like it's like a robot, you know. Then I tried to be nice, said hi, good morning, and then it's a very different experience. So try that. It's just being kind. It's just a simple act of human connection.
And
Okay.
perform a random act of kindness, right?
Yeah,
In
random
the
act of kindness. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just so simple. You know, there's so many opportunities to do that. Just little. It doesn't have to be like a big thing. Just a little thing. Little.
Thank you, Sunil, for that. And let's see our next question. Yeah. Question 4 by Zenboy. People talk about metaverse nowadays. I'm not sure what is it. Quite a new word for me. Which what's meta got to do with this? I think
Uh,
they sound the same. Should we say meta first instead of metaverse? Can Sunin
okay,
shed some light on this current trendy discussion on metaverse? Yeah, Sunin.
okay, Zen boy. I think the meta that you're talking about, metaverse, is actually a
Mm,
virtual reality. You know,
mhm,
by these guys from Facebook and Google. They, this is a metaverse, meta universe, which means everywhere. You can access this universe everywhere, and you can interact in this universe as an avatar. Whatever you like to be, you can be.
mhm,
Even if you're an old guy like me, you can be a young man of 20 in your metaverse. But
mhm,
meta is a different METTA, meta, sounds the same, but it's actually a Pali word, which means loving kindness, being kind and positive to others. So it's a different thing. But if you want to make this meta, METTA, into a universe, great.
mhm,
Then everybody becomes loving and kind to each other. Whether you're in the analog universe, our real world,
mhm,
or you're in the virtual reality, your meta, METTA verse. So it's up to you. You can be kind in both realities. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, in the real reality and the virtual reality.
mhm,
You know, why not? Just be kind either way. So, yeah, it sounds the same, but it's different thing.
mhm.
Metaverse and METTA. Meta means loving kindness. Does that explain it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. Well, I think it's the last question.
Um, yeah, I think this is the last question. Um, is metta and mindfulness enough to get us enlightened? If not, what else do we need?
What are you going to do when you get enlightened? Huh.
I think just be.
Be kind. Yeah, just be kind and compassionate to everybody. And you don't need to be enlightened to do that. You can do that right now. Be kind to everyone. And then perhaps one day you will see that is enlightenment. My teacher just my teacher said, correct direction and try mind is enlightenment. So all of us think enlightenment is kind of uh, a place or a state of mind. And from all I've read, it's an experience. It's just an experience that, boom, then finish, then that's it. You have this experience, you know what it is. That's why a lot of people who have experienced this, had this enlightenment experience, practice even harder after, because they know that to actually kind of maintain this kind of experience, or however you call it. I don't know because I haven't had it. So they have to practice even harder. So like my teacher, he practiced very hard even after his enlightenment experience. The Buddha, after after enlightenment, still continued to practice for many hours a day. So it's not like, oh, I got it and then I can relax. It's not a destination. So a lot of us think of it as a destination. It's an experience. Then you have to keep practicing to make sure that you are still kind of like have those attributes which we can connect to being a kind and enlightened being. Okay,
Yeah, I hope that answers question.
I hope so too. If not, you can always send the complaints to Shamisha, not to me.
Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
Suning, for a very meaningful talk. We always
okay,
enjoy your
thank you,
guided meditation and the Dharma talks. Yeah.
thank you,
Thank you. Thank you for your kindness, Suning.
thank you for yours.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay. So now we have one upcoming event. on 31st July, on Sunday, which is the part 2 of Noble Tara series, Sisters of Dhamma. Our moderator will be Sister Smita Lahiri, and our contributors will be Venerable Tenzin Dasil, Bhikkhuni Vandana, and Sister Tripti Lochan. So please do join us to this event. And may I request Salim to please recite the 4 great vows.
So let's put our palms together and recite the 4 great vows. You can follow me silently. The 4 great vows. Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to save them all. Delusions are endless. We vow to cut through them all. The teachings are infinite. We vow to learn them all. The Buddha way is inconceivable. We vow to attain it. May all beings be well, happy, and safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Salim. Thank you for
Thank you,
your
Sunil.
precious time. Thank you.
And those dogs barking, my dogs.
Mm.
So let's forgive them for their barking.
Let's send some
They're
kindness
just
to them.
doing they're
Let's
just
send
doing
some
their
nice
job.
metta to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Sunil.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye.
Night. Bye.